Hi everyone, and welcome back to Maths and Physics Mr. Simons. Today's grade 11 lesson on statistics. We're looking at February 2016's exam paper. Yeah, we're testing whether you can draw a box and whisker diagram if we give you a table. Right, so let's look at the question. Say the table below shows the distances in kilometers traveled by a sales representative for 21 working days in a certain month. So first day went 131 kilometers, last day 189 kilometers. At 1.1, calculate the mean distance traveled by the sales rep for 2 marks. Write down the 5-number summary for the set of data. Use the scale line on diagram sheet 1 to draw a box and whisker diagram for the set of data. Comment on the skewness of the data. Calculate the standard deviation of the distance traveled. 1.6, the sales rep discovered that his odometer was faulty. The actual reading on each of the 21 days was p kilometers more than which was indicated. Write down in terms of p, if applicable, the actual mean. So what does that error do to the actual mean and the actual standard deviation, right? So those are the questions. You can pause and attempt to answer them. And I'm going to be working through the answers with you. Right, 1.1. Calculate the mean distance traveled by the sales rep. And I say mean, in actual fact it's average, just different names. Right, so that requires me to add all the values. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 14, 21 values, right? So you see they have 21. If I say 131 plus 132 plus 140 plus 140 plus 141, all the way till 189, I'm going to get 3,310. So we divide that 2, I get a mean of 157,62. 1 there for correct values, 1 for answer. If you use the calculator, we give you 2 out of 2, right? Then write down the 5-number summary for the set of data. So for those of you who forgot, 5-number summary requires minimum, right? It requires quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and then a maximum. Alright, so for minimum, as you can see there, smallest value 131. So my minimum is 131. Right, for quartile 1, working out the position, I have 21 values. So I'm going to say 21 plus 1 divided by 4. So there, if I look for position, 21 terms plus the 1 divided by 4 according to the formula gives me my 5,5 or 5.5 value. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6. So that answer lies between the 5th and the 6th value. So to get quartile 1, I'm going to say 141 plus 144 divided by 2. Right? And that gives me 142,4. So quartile 1 is in between these two values, 142,5. Quartile 2 is my median. So for my median, the middle value, I'm going to say 21 plus 1, but now divide by 2. So that should give me my 11th value. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, so there, 21 plus 1 divided by 2 gives me my 11th value. My 11th value here is 151. So quartile 2 or median equal 151. Right, if we look at quartile 3, we're going to say 3 times 21 divided by 4. Right, so that gives me 22 and 3 is 66 divided by 4, 16.5. So that's 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this answer lies between the 16th and the 17th value. So 172 plus 174 divided by 2 should give me 173. So quartile 3 equal 173. And then for my 5-number summary, the last value is always my maximum, which in this case is 189. Right, so those are my values. And normally when I've asked 5-number summary, the next question will be, can you plot the box and whisker diagram? Right, so use the scale line on diagram sheet 1 to draw a box and whisker diagram for the set of data. So we know from the 5-number summary we got now that the minimum is 131. quartile 1 is 142.5, quartile 2, 151, quartile 3, 173, and 189. So if we plot it, there 131, my minimum, 142.5, quartile 1, 151, quartile 2, 173, quartile 3, and 189, my maximum. So 1 mark for my box there, and then 1 mark for my whiskers being at 131 and 189. Alright, and there take note, it is to scale now, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. So you have to draw to scale. You can't just go draw 131, 142, 151. You have to draw it to scale, because normally the question that follows is going to ask whether the starter skew to the left or skew to the right. Alright, meaning where from the middle to the beginning and from the middle to the end, which one gives me a bigger range of values. So I look here, 131 to 151 is stretched by 20, but from 151 to 189, that gives me 48. No? So that is 48. So therefore, the starter is skewed to the right. So comment on the skewness of the starter. So I say there we have more values to the right than we have to the left. Therefore, the starter skewed to the right or positively skewed. Right, so positively skewed or skewed to the right. Now, 1.5, they say calculate the standard deviation of the distance traveled. I assume your teacher has shown you how to use your Casio calculator and your calculator to punch in these values and get the standard deviation on the calculator. It's only for 2 marks, so we prefer that you do it via calculator, but via calculator, standard deviation 17,27, 2 marks. Right, so standard deviation is basically the square root of my variance, which is the sum of x minus the mean squared. So each x value in the table minus the mean squared divided by the amount of values. Square root of that, and I would have my standard deviation. Right, so maybe I'll do a lesson to show you how we do it manually. Right? Now, the sales rep discovered that the odometer was faulty. The actual reading on each of the 21 days was p kilometers more. Right, so he made an error, that which was indicated. Write down in terms of p, if applicable, the actual mean. Right, so the mean that we got, I think, was 157.62. Right, but because there's an error, the mean will increase with that same error plus p. Right, so therefore 157.62 plus p, 1 mark. If we say actual standard deviation, p there, because I'm saying x minus the mean squared, etc., it will actually have no effect on the standard deviation. So the standard deviation should stay 17.67 if I'm not mistaken, or 27. Right, so the standard deviation would stay the same. Right, so that's it for this lesson. I hope you've learned a lot. A lot of these questions will reappear as I go through different videos. Continue practicing, work hard. Success is bound to find you. God bless. Bye.